Hi Apple lovers and welcome to another episode of the Tech Hub. In this episode I am reviewing the MacBook Air M4 15-inch in sky blue and I explain why I switched from the M3 MacBook Pro. So let's get into it and let's start the episode. Okay, so let me give you an overview of this episode. Yes, we are going to look at the spec of the MacBook Air M4. We're also going to compare it to my previous model. Now, last year I got the MacBook Pro M3. I got the 8GB model. That's when the base storage, the base RAM was still 8GB and a 512 SSD. It struggled with the tasks I've got. I'm a semi-pro, and sometimes I would see that colourful wheel go around, which is unheard of. So I found, or actually came across, a M3 model with 16GB of RAM and a 1TB hard drive. So upgraded it, absolutely fine. Although I did use it a few weeks back for what I do for work, which is lots of productivity, like all of Microsoft Office, running at the same time, including video calls. And the fan came on, and I haven't heard a fan for years. I mean, I've got obviously the M4 Mac Mini. I know what that's capable of. And I've never even heard the fan, and I use it all day in that environment. So anyway, then they of course announced the M4 MacBook Air with a lovely color, of course. The new sky blue color, which I do really like. I think it's very classy. And in my environment, I can see the blue. So they got me intrigued, but ultimately, I'll give you one of the spoilers now, is I love the M4 Mac Mini, so why wouldn't I want the same version in a portable laptop? So that's reason number one. After I compare it to my M3 MacBook Pro, we will then discuss why I really went from the MacBook Pro M3 to the M4 MacBook Air. Some trolls have commented and say pointless exercise downgrading. You're downgrading. Well, is it a downgrade? And actually they claim that I did it just for the color. Now, I love colors and I did change all my color scheme to silver or starlight. That's not a reason at all why I have downgraded. It's part of it. It's a benefit, I see it as, but not, if that was the only thing that had changed, wouldn't be buying it. So for trolls out there, anyway, let's delve into the spec of this new MacBook Air. So let's delve into this sleek and powerful 15-inch MacBook Air in the stunning sky blue finish. So let's explore what makes this laptop a standout choice. First off, let's talk about the design. The MacBook Air maintains the iconic slim profile, now available in vibrant sky blue color. It's crafted from 100% recycled aluminium, reflecting Apple's commitment to sustainability. The 15.3-inch liquid retina display is a visual treat, offering 500 nits of brightness and support for 1 billion colors. Whether you're editing photos or streaming videos, the clarity and color accuracy are top-notch. Under the hood, this model is powered by Apple's M4 chip, featuring a 10-core CPU and a 10-core GPU. So paired with 16GB of unified memory and a 512 SSD. It ensures smooth performance for multitasking and demanding applications. Now the base model is 13-inch with 256. I got the 15-inch with 512 hard drive, which is the only upgrade I did. Now let's talk about battery life, because this is where the MacBook Air really shines. Apple claimed up to 18 hours of battery on a single charge, thanks to the efficiency of the M4 chip. This means you can power through a full day, binge watch your favorite shows or edit videos without reaching for the charger. And you need to top up. So included is a 35-watt power adapter with MagSafe 3, which makes recharging quick and convenient. And there's an extra port for another thing to plug in. If you're using Apple's optional 70-watt adapter, you can get up to 50% charge in 30 minutes. That's an optional £20 upgrade. I believe it's £20. The connectivity options include two Thunderbolt USB 4 ports, a MagSafe 3 charging port, and a 3.5mm headphone jack with advanced support for high impedance headphones. Now, people still like to have that jack. I don't currently need it, but it's nice to know it's there. Audio quality gets a boost with a 6-speaker sound system delivering wide stereo surround support for spatial audio and playing music or video with Dolby Atmos. For video calls, the 12 megapixel FaceTime HD camera ensures you look sharp, and it now features Apple's center stage technology. This means the camera intelligently tracks your face and adjusts the frame to keep you centered, even if you move around during calls. Whether you're on a Zoom meeting or FaceTiming with friends, center stage makes sure that you're always in the spotlight. Now let's talk about the different configurations and colors available. So you can get a 13-inch. This is the 15-inch MacBook Air, which comes with 4 stunning finishes: Midnight, Starlight, Silver, and the all-new Sky Blue, which I think is stunning. Midnight has a sleek, almost black finish with a subtle blue tint. They apparently have fixed the finger marks on it, because when I had the M2 version, very fingerprinty. Starlight offers a soft champagne like gold hue, and Silver keeps that classic clean Apple aesthetic, and Sky Blue is a fresh addition for those who want something more vibrant. When it comes to performance, the base model starts at 16 gigs of RAM, no more 8 gigabytes, and 256 of SSD storage, but you can configure it up to 24 gigabytes of RAM and up to 2 terabytes of storage. If you need a bit more power for creative work or multitasking, I'd recommend you go for the 512, because the 256 is passable, but with the efficiency of swap, 512 is the better performance. And this is the one that we're looking at today. So the 15-inch MacBook Air is powered by Apple's M4 chip, but there is also a higher end option with an extra GPU core, designed for those who need a bit more graphical power for video editing, design work, or gaming. Pricing depends on the configuration you choose, but the base model starts around £1,299. You can get £100 off at the educational store as well, which I did. But of course, if you max out the specs to 24 gigabytes of RAM and 2 terabytes SSD, you're looking over £2,000. So depending on your needs, there's a MacBook Air setup for everyone, whether you're just a sleek everyday laptop or a powerful machine for a professional work. So as I stated, I switched from the MacBook Pro M3 14-inch, so let's discuss how it compares to the 15-inch MacBook Air M4. Today we're going to put them head to head, breaking down the biggest differences, especially when it comes to the screen and performance. So let's dive in. So first off, let's talk about the design. Both laptops are ultra thin and portable, but they serve different purposes. The MacBook Air 15-inch is larger, coming in at just 11.5 millimeters thick and weighing about 1.51 kilograms, meaning the 14-inch MacBook Pro is slightly smaller but thicker and heavier, around 1.6 kilograms, due to its extra cooling system and pro-grade internals. And of course, that's a big difference. MacBook Air is fanless. MacBook Pro has the fan. The Air comes in at 4 choices, so Midnight, Starlight, Silver, and Sky Blue, while the Pro sticks to just 2, Silver and Space Black. So if you want a bit more personality, the Air has the edge. RIP Space Grey as well. Now, this is where things get interesting, the display. So the MacBook Air 15-inch features a liquid retina display with a 2880 by 1864 resolution, 500 nits of brightness, and support for P3 wide color and true tone. It looks great, but if you need best screen quality, the MacBook Pro wins hands down. It has a 14.2-inch liquid retina XDR display with a higher resolution of 3024 by 1964, and it blows the air away in brightness, hitting the 1000 nits for sustained brightness and up to 1600 nits for HDR content. Plus, you'll get ProMotion with 120 Hz refresh rate, which makes everything feel smoother, whether you're scrolling, gaming, or editing. So that's a big tick for the MacBook Pro right there. So if you're doing professional creative or just want the absolute best display Apple offers, the MacBook Pro is the clearer winner here. But for everyday use, value, the MacBook Air still looks fantastic. Now let's talk about performance, because this is where things get a little tricky. The MacBook Air debuted with the new M4 chip, while the MacBook Pro I had is running last year's M3 chip. But does that mean the Air is faster? Well, yes and no. So the M4 chip in the MacBook Air has a 10-core CPU and a 10-core GPU, while the M3 chip in my MacBook Pro was a 8-core CPU and a 10-core GPU. So 2 GPUs difference, but also the memory bandwidth, you get an extra 20 at 120 gigs. But here's the catch, the Pro has active cooling, which means it can sustain higher performance for longer without throttling, whereas the Air is completely fanless. Now, I said at the beginning how I had heard my MacBook Pro fan come on. I put the Air through the same stress test. It got a little warm to the touch, did not throttle, no spinny thing. So for everyday tasks like web browsing, streaming, and even light video editing, you won't notice much difference. But if you're pushing the limits, running large Final Cut Pro projects, 3D rendering, AI, or gaming, the MacBook Pro M3 will stay cooler and maintain peak performance longer than the Air. So it was overkill for me. I didn't need that performance from a laptop because I literally use it for a portable office computer rather than anything I do on my tech channel. Both of these laptops offer fantastic battery life though. So Apple claims MacBook Air lasts up to 18 hours, while the MacBook Pro pushes that to 22 hours thanks to its larger battery and more efficient display. But in real world, you'll get about 12 to 15 hours on the Air and 14 to 18 on the Pro, depending on what you're doing. So there's not a huge difference there. And hey, we all got to sleep. Who's got a 15-hour day? So after all that, when I was deciding to switch, the only thing I feel I am missing out on is a better display and slightly different speakers. The 15-inch speakers sound great. However, just like my switch from the Mac Studio to the Mac Mini, the Pro to the MacBook Air is because the Pro was always overkill for me and I did not need that power. But at the end of the day, the new MacBook Air M4 has the same amount of power and there are no tasks that I can't do on it that I couldn't do before. Plus, of course, it's got an epic new color. So that's it for today's comparison. Which MacBook would you pick? Let me know in the comments below, and of course, please be kind. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you never miss a Tech Hub episode or a breakdown. Please follow me on Instagram and Threads at TechHubWorldUK. Please check out my website at www.techhubworlduk.co.uk, and I'll see you on the next episode.